Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. This is going to be a 45-minute class, a little bit easier one today, just some nice deep stretches, a little bit of strength work, and some flow. If you have a yoga block or a blanket, have one nearby. It's not critical, but if you have one, just put it near the top of your mat because we'll be using it at the beginning near the head of your mat. And then just come into a kneeling position. This is called hero pose. So down on your knees with your glutes resting on your heels. And as always, one way to make this more comfortable is to take a block or a blanket and slide it underneath your hips to take the pressure off your knees. And if that's still not comfortable, feel free to sit cross-legged or any way that's comfortable for you. So take a minute just to settle in, let your shoulders drop down. We'll start with some breathing and starting to connect our breath with our movement in an even way. So let your shoulders drop down, lengthen your neck up. And as you inhale deeply, stretch your arms out to the side and up overhead, filling your lungs up, stretch your arms up. Exhale, bring your right palm down to the mat and stretch over to the left, getting a nice stretch along your left side ribs. Inhale, back up to the sky. Exhale, left hand goes down, stretching over to the left. Stretch as far over as is comfortable to you. Inhale, back up, reaching up. Exhale, one more time to the right, reaching over with your left hand. Deepening your breath each time. Inhale, up. Exhale, back over to the left. Really get a nice stretch in your side body there. Inhale one more time up and exhale your hands back down. Great. Let's come into a wide child's pose for a moment just to settle in. So take your knees as wide as your mat, bring your big toes together, rest your glutes on your heels, and then walk your palms out, stretching your arms really long out in front of you, spread your fingers wide, and let your forehead drop down and rest on the mat. And then just let your arms relax, let your tailbone sink down. And take a minute to check in with how your body is feeling today. Is there anywhere you're feeling tight or sore? Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling energized? Check in with how your breathing is feeling. And then lift your head up and walk your hands over to the right side of your mat, over off to the side. And then drop your forehead back down. Try to get a stretch again on the left side of your body. On this side. And then lift your head up and walk your hands over to the left side, stretching your hands out long, and drop your forehead down just as far over as you need to go to feel a good stretch on your right side. Great, and gently come back up. Plant your hands in front of you on the mat, shoulder width apart. Step your feet back just for a moment into a plank, and then lower your entire body all the way down to the mat, belly and chest on the mat. And stretch your arms out to a T. We're going to do a little shoulder stretch here. So bring your left hand to the mat, palm down. Your right arm is stretched out perpendicular to your body. And this is where you might want your block near your head. And then just roll over onto your right side of your body. So you're just trying to get a stretch in the front of your right shoulder. If you'd like to deepen that, you can bend your left knee and place your left foot on the floor behind your leg. And then if you like, you can slide that block under your head as a little pillow to take the tension out of your neck. And this is just to counter all of the hunching over computers and desks that most of us are doing all day. So just try to let your entire body weight press into that shoulder, and feel free to pull your left shoulder back a little bit to get a deeper stretch. And just enjoy that for a breath. And then gently roll your way back onto your belly. We'll do the other side. So stretch your left arm out to a T, so it's perpendicular to your body, palm down. Place your right palm next to your chest and roll over onto your left side. You can take your right foot flat on the mat behind your leg. And again, if you have a block or a blanket, feel free to rest your head on that. And just roll your hip open, letting your body weight sink into that left shoulder to open that up. Good, and then you can set the block off to the side and roll back onto your belly. Now take both hands next to your chest. We're gonna come into a really gentle cobra here. So spread your fingers wide. And as you inhale, lift your chest, pull your shoulders back, gently lift your gaze, and just push yourself up as high as it feels good to you, stretching through your spine, through your chest, and gently lower all the way back down. Curl your toes under, press into your hands, and lift your hips all the way up into our first downward facing dog. Take a moment here and settle in. Feel free to bend one knee, bend the other knee, pedal it out. Press your palms and your fingers and your knuckles into the mat as you lift your hips high. And we're just going to shift between downward dog and plank a few times to start warming up. So come up on your toes, but keep your legs relatively straight. And then shift forward so your shoulders are over your wrists and you're in plank. Shift back to down dog, lift your hips, drop your heels. Inhale to plank, shift forward. Exhale, downward dog, matching your movements with your breath. Inhale to plank a couple more times. Your shoulders should be over your wrists. Exhale, lift your hips up to downward dog, drop your heels. One more time, inhale to plank and hold it here for a moment. Great. Exhale, last time to downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look forward, and just take your time to walk your way up to the top of your mat. Keeping your head down, bring your feet about hip distance apart, and we're going to take a ragdoll. So grasp your elbows with opposite hands, bend your knees as deeply as you like, and let your entire torso, head, shoulders just drape over your legs. Let your torso touch your thighs. Let your head be heavy. Feel free to sway from side to side with your whole upper body. You can shake your head yes or no. Just letting everything be really loose here. One more breath here. And then slowly make your way up to standing. Take your time, one vertebrae at a time. Bringing your head up last. Great. We'll start to flow through some vinyasas here to get a little more warmed up. So feet together, standing in mountain pose. Drop your shoulders down and back. Neck is long and graceful. Inhale, sweep your arms out to the side, up, overhead, palms touch. Exhale, fold all the way down, drop your head. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Hands can be on the floor or on your shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right foot back to a lunge. Drop your right knee down and uncurl your toes for a low lunge. Inhale your arms up to the sky, crescent lunge. Take a breath here, stretch your arms up to the sky and let your hips sink down. Make sure your front knee is right over your ankle. And then bring your fingertips back down to the mat and shift your hips back, straighten your front leg and flex your toes towards your forehead. You might need to walk your fingertips back towards you a little bit and fold over that left leg for a really nice hamstring stretch. We'll do that one more time. So shift your hips forward, inhale your arms up to the sky, drop your hips down. Reach your hands up like you're trying to hand a big beach ball to somebody. Reach high, let your hips sink down as you reach with your arms. And then drop your fingertips down to the mat, shift your hips back, straighten your front leg, and drop your head down as you flex your toes towards your forehead. Beautiful, shift forward, plant both hands on the mat, step back to plank, hold here in plank, and then lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale up to cobra, pull your shoulders back, lift your chest high. Exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips to downward dog. Beautiful. Step your right foot forward this time to a lunge. Drop your left knee down, uncurl your left toes, and inhale your arms back up to crescent lunge. Take your time with this. We're just warming up, so let your hips sink down, let your arms reach up. Exhale, drop your fingertips down, straighten your front leg, pull your toes back towards you as you fold over your right leg. Take a breath here. Just sink into this. And again, inhale forward, reach your arms up for crescent lunge, drop your hips down, reaching up, but keep your shoulders down. And then one more time, shift your hips back, straighten your front leg, flex your toes, and fold your torso over your front leg. Nice job. Come forward, plant your hands on the mat, step your right foot back to downward dog, lift your hips, take a breath here. Check in with how you're feeling. Make sure your gaze here is at your knees, so the back of your neck is nice and long. And your heels are just gently dropping down towards the mat, doesn't matter if they touch. Exhale, bend your knees, come up on your toes, look forward, and inhale, hop lightly forward to the top of your mat to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, sweep your arms wide and up, palms touch. Exhale, back to mountain. Again, inhale, arms wide, palms touch overhead. Exhale, fold forward, head drops down. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right foot back to a lunge. Keep it a high lunge this time, back knee is lifted. Inhale your arms up, find a nice strong high lunge here. Adjust your feet if you need to. And then take your arms into cactus arms. So bend your elbows in line with shoulders, spread your fingers wide, and inhale, open your chest up to the sky, pull your elbows back a little bit, squeeze your shoulders. We're gonna do eagle arms here. So take your right arm under your left, wrap your arms around each other, if you can, until your palms touch. And then as you inhale, lift your elbows up to open up your upper back as you sink your hips a little deeper into this lunge. Beautiful, everyone. And then inhale, open your arms back up to cactus. One last squeeze of the shoulder blades here. And return both hands back to frame your foot and step back to plank. Lower your entire body all the way down. Keep your elbows tucked in. Inhale, lift your chest up to cobra. Exhale, curl your toes under to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up high. Take a breath here. On your next inhale, step your right foot forward for a high lunge on the other side. Take a moment to feel stable. And then inhale, both arms up to high lunge. Back knee is off the mat. As you exhale, bring your arms wide to cactus arms. Spread your fingers as wide as they'll go and squeeze your shoulders back behind you. For eagle arms on this side, take your left arm under your right, wrap your arms, bring your palms together. And as you inhale, lift your elbows up, sink your hips down. Really feel that opposition. And then open your arms back up to cactus, spread your fingers wide, squeeze your shoulder blades in the back. And exhale your palms back to the mat. Step your right foot back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. And take a round of breath here. Feel that nice stretch through your armpits, through your side ribs, pressing into all 10 knuckles, all 10 fingers. Bend your knees, come up on your toes as you exhale, look forward, and inhale, lightly hop or step to the top of your mat with a long spine. Fold forward, drop your head down. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. And exhale back to mountain. For the next one, we'll start in chair. So drop your hips down first bend your knees. Look down and make sure you can see your toes in front of your knees. And then inhale your arms up overhead, look up at your hands, drop your hips a little bit lower. And exhale, fold forward, drop your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant both hands and step all the way back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up. Inhale your right leg up to the sky this time, lifting it high, point your toes. And then exhale, swing your foot through to a high lunge. Bring your arms all the way up, find that strong high lunge again. Exhale, spin your back heel down for warrior two. Beautiful warrior two is looking really strong. Inhale, reverse your warrior, flip your right palm up to the sky, reach it high. Exhale, right elbow to right knee for side angle stretch. Inhale, your left arm over your ear and stretch it long. Feel free to reach down to the floor if that's in your practice. Exhale your left hand down to the mat. Pop your back heel up and reach your right arm up to the sky for a twist to the right. And exhale your right hand back down. Step your right foot back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Take a breath. On your next inhale, lift your left foot up to the sky, stretch it long. Exhale, swing it all the way through to high lunge. Inhale your arms up, sink your hips down. Exhale, back heel spins down, warrior two. Gaze is over your left middle finger, deep in the stretch, the lunge. Inhale, reverse your warrior, lift your left hand up to the sky. Exhale, left elbow to left knee, side angle stretch. Inhale your right arm over your right ear, long diagonal line. Exhale your right hand back down to the floor, lift your back heel up, and lift your left hand up to the sky for a side stretch to the left. Exhale your left hand back down to the mat, and step your left foot back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips high, press into your hands. Beautiful. Exhale, bend your knees, come up on your toes, look forward, and inhale, hop back up to a halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold forward, drop your head down. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way back up overhead, palms touch. And exhale, back to mountain. Hopefully everyone is feeling a little bit warmer now. So is this blind here? I think I'm getting a little too much sun in here. And from here, we'll step our feet really wide. So step one foot back towards the back of your mat. It doesn't matter which foot, but you want your feet to be wide. You want all 10 toes to be facing the long end of your mat. And your feet should be parallel, about 3 or 4 feet apart. And then put your hands on your waist. Let your shoulders drop back and down. Lengthen your neck. Inhale, gently look up. And exhale, hinge forward at your hips. Fold all the way down. As you fold down, reach your hands down to the mat in between your feet and spread your fingers wide. Relax your whole upper body down, so drop the crown of your head down towards the mat. Let your elbows bend back between your legs. And just take a breath here, letting everything drop with gravity. Everyone's looking really good. And then place your hands back on your waist. Use your long spine and your core to pull yourself all the way back up to standing in one long line. Keep your feet exactly where they are. And we're going to do that again, but this time bring your hands behind your back and interlace your fingers. So ideally, you'll have your palms touching. You might need to pull your shoulders back to do that. Totally fine to bend your arms. If that doesn't work for you, you can grab opposite elbows. Either of those will work. So with your feet wide, hands interlaced, pull your shoulders back, look up as you inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward again, this time letting your hands fall over your head and drop down. Letting gravity pull your hands down over your head. Let your head and shoulders release. keep your legs really strong here. Keep your quads engaged. And just breathe into this. Try to let gravity pull you down a little bit more. And then release your hands. Pull yourself back up to standing using your hands and your core come all the way back up. Great job. You can shake your hands out here. Step back up to the top of your mat. We'll take another vinyasa here, starting in mountain pose. So feet together, shoulders drop down. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, fold all the way down, drop your head. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Lift your right foot up to the sky, point your toes, stretch it long. And exhale, swing it through for a lunge. Inhale your arms up for a high lunge. And then exhale, drop your back heel down for warrior two. We're going to move into triangle this time. So straighten your front leg. Take a moment to check the alignment of your feet. So your feet should be perpendicular to each other, heel to heel alignment. Both legs are straight. And as you inhale, stretch your right arm long over your right foot. Before you reach down, stretch out towards the wall as long as you can. And then as you exhale, drop your right hand down towards your right foot or ankle or shin. I should have told you this earlier, but feel free to grab your block and put it there if you like. And then inhale your left hand up to the sky. So your right hand can be wherever it's comfortable on your foot or ankle. So take a breath here and just feel like your whole body is pressed between two panes of glass, all in one line. Your shoulders should be square and hips facing the long end of your mat. Great job. And on your next inhale, use that top arm to pull yourself back up. Use your core, come back up and lunge back to warrior two, gazing over your right middle finger. Deep lunge. Keeping that lunge, flip your right palm up. Inhale and lift your hand, reverse your warrior. And exhale, cartwheel your arms all the way down to frame your foot. Step your foot back, lift your hips to downward facing dog. Inhale your left foot up to the sky, stretch it long. Exhale, swing it all the way through to a high lunge on the left side. Lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, spin your back heel down to warrior two, lunge that really deeply. And then triangle on this side, so straighten your right leg. Before you reach down, inhale and reach forward, long reach over that front foot. And then start to let that hand drop down as you exhale, reaching for your toes or the top of your foot or your ankle. And inhale your right arm up to the sky. Take a breath here. Try not to sink down into that bottom hand, but lift yourself out from your waist, really long here. And then on your next inhale, use your top arm to pull yourself back up. Lunge back to warrior two. Beautiful, strong warriors. And then flip your left palm up to the sky, reverse your warrior, reach it up. Exhale, cartwheel both arms back down to the mat and lift your hips to downward facing dog, lift them high. Take a round of breath here. We're gonna come back to the alternating downward dog planks that we were doing earlier, plus a little extra. So starting in downward dog, as you exhale, and then inhale, come up on your toes, keep your legs straight and shift your body weight forward so your shoulders are right over your wrists. Pull the middle of your back up to the sky. Exhale, drop your heels, lift your hips up to the sky. Inhale, shift forward up on your toes to plank. This time as you exhale, shift your weight forward a little more, shoulders in front of your hands, and then lower down, just do a half push-up. Keep your elbows tucked in. And inhale back up to plank. Exhale your hips back up to downward dog, drop your heels down. Let's do a few more of those sneaky push-ups. Inhale, shift forward to plank, really strong. Exhale, half push up. You can do this. Inhale, push yourself back up to plank. Exhale, back to downward dog. Drop your heels down. 3 more. Inhale, forward to plank. Shift all the way forward. Exhale, drop down, half push up or lower. Inhale, back up to plank. Exhale, downward dog. 2 more to go. You're doing great. Inhale, shift forward, strong plank. Exhale, lower down, half push up. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog. 1 more time. Inhale, plank. Exhale, half push up, lower down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lift your hips, drop your heels to downward facing dog. Drop both knees down, bring your big toes together, and drop your forehead down. You earned a child's pose. Take a breath here and see if your breath feels deeper than it did earlier. Try to breathe all the way down into your belly. And try to release any tension you're holding anywhere. And whenever you're ready, plant your hands in front of you, curl your toes under, and we'll come back up to downward dog. Find your downward dog. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg long behind you 1 more time. Lift it long. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, coming forward into that plank position again. Lift that knee a little higher up to your tricep. And inhale, lift your right leg long behind you. Exhale, bend your knee, knee to nose, shift forward, curl it up tight. Inhale, right leg long behind you. Last one, exhale, bring your right knee to left elbow, cross your body, curl it up tight. And then extend your right leg over to the left. This is fallen triangle. So your outer blade of your right foot is on the mat. Back heel is popped up. And then inhale your left arm up to the sky, reach it up. Exhale your left hand back down and step your right foot back to downward facing dog. Take a breath. Try to even and deepen your breath every time you return to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up to the sky, reach it long. Exhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow, or ideally left tricep. Pull it in tight. Inhale, left foot high behind you. Exhale, left knee to nose. Pull it in tight. Shoulders over wrists. Inhale, left leg up behind you. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Cross your body. And then extend that right leg out to the side and lift your right arm up. This is fallen triangle. Beautiful job. Exhale your right hand back to the mat and step your left foot back. Lift your hips to downward facing dog. All right, we're gonna do one last little strength move. We're just gonna do some quick side planks, but feel free to come down to your knees and rest for a moment. I'll just show you a couple of options for side plank because it can be a little bit shaky sometimes. So side plank, we're gonna start on the right. You're gonna come onto the outer edge of your right foot. And the traditional way is to put your left foot right on top of your right foot. But if that doesn't feel stable, you can take that top foot and put it on the floor behind your bottom foot. Or you can take that foot and put it in front of you on the mat so your knee is right in line with your hip. So take a moment, come into whatever side plank is comfortable for you. So right hand down, outer edge of your right foot down. Left arm lifts up to the sky. Lift your hips up, don't sink down into it. Inhale your arm up, and then in overhead, bicep to ear. Exhale, hand to your hip. Inhale, bicep to ear, reach long overhead. Exhale your hand to your hip. One more time, inhale, bicep to ear, and drop that hand down. Feel free to come on your knees to rest for a moment. This is our last strength move. You guys are doing so great. Come on to side plank on the left, so left hand down. Outer side of your left foot down. Find your plank, side plank. Lift your right arm up to the sky. Inhale, reach that arm over your head, bicep to ear. Exhale really gracefully, that hand goes to your hip. Inhale, arm all the way overhead, over your ear. Lift your hips up. Exhale, your hand back to your hip. Last time, lift your hand high and then over your head. Exhale that hand back to the floor. Beautiful, drop your knees down. Really nice, everybody. Step back for one last downward facing dog. This is our last one today. So lift your hips really high. Get one nice stretch here. And then come up on your toes, bend your knees. Look forward and walk back up. Just like we did earlier to ragdoll. But this time we're gonna do this a little differently. We're gonna take our hands with your palms up, put your palms facing up underneath your feet so that your toes are touching your wrist crease. This feels a little funny if you've never done it before, but it's a great counter stretch for your wrists. And then let your head drop down, let your knees bend. And once you're comfortable there, try to gently shift your weight forward into your toes to massage your hands a little bit. Press your big toe into the base of your thumb. And this really counters all those planks and down dogs and push-ups we were doing. Bend your knees as deeply as you like. Let your head hang. And then release your hands, bend your knees, put your hands on the mat, and then just gently lower your bum down to the mat, all the way down to a seated position. Great job, we're done with all the hard work. We just have a few nice floor stretches to do here. So bring your left foot, the sole of your left foot, in to your right thigh, your inner right thigh. Right leg is long, toes are flexed. Inhale your arms up overhead, stretch your spine long, and exhale, fold over your right leg, reaching for your toes with a C grip or your ankle. And as you inhale, really try to think about lengthening from your sit bones up to the crown of your head. Pull your shoulders back. And as you exhale, rather than just collapsing into it, try to stretch your collarbones towards your foot. You might not go down as far, but you'll be keeping your spine nice and long. Beautiful, and slowly come back up. Take your left foot, put the sole of your foot flat on the mat with about a fist distance between your foot and your right leg. Place your right hand on the floor beside you. Inhale your left arm up overhead and reach forward towards the outside of your right foot. So your outside of your left shoulder should be inside your left knee. And you can keep that there and just keep reaching forward. If you'd like to try taking a bind, you can take your left hand and reach it around your left leg. Take your right hand behind your back and clasp your hands together for a bind. And then inhale, lengthen up. Whichever position you're in, try to fold forward just a little bit more. Great job. Release that bind if you're in it. Last one here, cross your left foot over your right knee. We're going to take a twist the other direction here. So take your left hand behind you, settle your sit bones in, and then squeeze your left knee into your chest, and we're twisting to the left. Gaze is over your left shoulder. If you'd like to deepen that, you can take your right elbow to the outside of your left knee and revolve your torso around, lengthening your spine with each inhale and twisting a little bit deeper with each exhale. Give all those abdominal organs a nice massage. Good, and release that. Stretch both legs out, shake them out for a minute. And we'll do all of that on the other side. So bring the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left leg. Settle your sit bones in. Inhale, both arms up long. And exhale, fold over your left leg, reaching for your foot or your ankle. Let your elbows wing out to the sides. As you inhale, think about lengthening your entire spine from your sit bones all the way up to the crown of your head. Pull your shoulders back. And exhale, extend your collarbones towards your foot as you gaze at your toes. Really try to keep that length in your spine. Good, gently release that stretch. Place your right foot flat on the mat, about a fist distance between your foot and your other leg. Place your left hand on the floor beside you. Inhale your right arm up to the sky, and then reach for the outer edge of your left foot. Right shoulder is on the inside of your right knee. You can keep stretching that forward. If you want to try the bind, lean your torso forward a little bit more, and then reach your right arm all the way around your right knee and take your left hand behind your back, clasping your hands together behind you. Inhale, lengthen. This is a little awkward, but it's a different stretch. And exhale, fold forward a little bit deeper if you can. And release that. We'll take the twist. So cross your right foot over your left knee. Twisting the other direction, place your right hand behind you. Hand is flat. Squeeze your knee into your chest. Gaze is over your right shoulder. And if you'd like to take it deeper, take that elbow to the outside of your knee. And starting in your lower abdomen, twisting all the way up to the crown of your head. Lengthening and twisting. Very nice, and release that. Shake your legs out in front of you, and we'll take one quick butterfly before we recline back. So bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees drop down. And you can start with your interlaced fingers underneath your feet to allow you to lengthen your spine up a little bit. And then fold forward just as much as it's comfortable over your feet. And then once you've gotten yourself folded forward as much as is comfortable for you, just let everything drop down. You can even let your palms face the sky and let your back round. Let your head just drop down towards your feet. Try not to put any effort or pushing into this. Just let your body relax. If you have your block near you, it can even feel good to take your block and put it on top of your feet and let your forehead rest on that so you can completely relax. Let's take a couple breaths here. Let your knees open out with gravity. Good, and then in your own time, release that and lay all the way back down on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the mat. We'll take a reclined pigeon on each side. So lift your right leg up to the sky. First, flex your toes towards yourself as if you're trying to press the sole of your foot into the ceiling. Engage your quads and pull your toes towards your forehead for a moment. And then keeping your toes flexed, bend your knee and put your ankle on top of your left knee. Pull your left knee in towards yourself, and you can reach out with your hands and take them behind your thigh or under your knee, wherever it's comfortable for you. And then lay back and gently pull your left knee in towards yourself. As you pull your left knee in, feel your tailbone lifting up off the mat as you squeeze it in tighter. And then on your exhale, try to let your right knee open out ever so slightly to allow your tailbone to drop back down a millimeter or two, keeping that squeeze on your left knee. So try to use that opposition to just get a millimeter more opening in your hips. Just release into that. Good, and then Let that go. Put both feet flat on the mat. Extend your left foot up to the sky. Flex your toes really strongly. Engage your quads like you're stepping on the ceiling really strongly with that left foot. Pull your toes towards your forehead. And then keeping your toes flexed, bend your knee, place your left ankle on your right knee. Pull your right knee in towards yourself. You can use your hands. Squeeze that knee in. Feel your tailbone lifting. And then let your left knee open up and help your tailbone drop back down a little bit. Use the opposition of squeezing your right knee in and letting your left knee fall out. Breathing deeply into your belly. Good, and release both feet back down to the mat. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open out wide for reclined butterfly. And you can put your hands on your belly, you can put your hands out to a T, or you can take them all the way overhead and grasp opposite elbows, if that feels good. And just close your eyes, starting to slow your breathing down. Let your knees drop down with gravity. Gently bring your knees back together. Stretch your right leg out long. Pull your left knee in for a twist. Let your left knee cross your body, twisting over to the right. If it's comfortable, you can take your left arm the opposite direction and gaze out at your left fingertips. And think about trying to let your left shoulder drop down towards the mat behind you as you relax into this twist. Gently roll back to neutral. Pull both knees into your chest for a moment. Extend your right leg long. Your left leg long. Bring your right knee across your body. Twisting the other way. Extend your right arm out to the side. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can gaze over at your right hand. And you can play with the position of your right arm. Sometimes it helps to take a cactus arm or flip your palm over so your palm is flat on the floor. Whatever helps you drop that shoulder back a little bit more. And then gently bring both knees back into your chest for one last squeeze. You can give your lower back a little massage here, roll side to side. And then let your legs be as wide as your mat. Let your feet flop open. Let your hands be as wide as they want to be. We're coming into Shavasana, final relaxation. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath and just let it out. Give a nice big sigh. Feel free to take a couple of those if it feels good. And all the work is done. All you need to do now is relax. No need to control your breathing. No need to put any effort in. Just give your body a scan and check for anywhere you might be holding tension. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue and your eyes in their sockets. Release your hips and your abdomen, shoulders, spine, lower back. Relax your hands and your feet. Let your whole body be really heavy. And really absorb all the hard work you put into this practice. And take a moment of silence here to completely relax. Gently start to bring some movement back into your body, maybe starting with your hands or your feet. Any movement that feels good to you. You can take a long body stretch with your arms overhead if you like. You can pull your knees in, give yourself another squeeze. And then in your own time, gently roll over onto your side and come up into any comfortable seated position. Just take your time. Be gentle with yourself. We'll take one last breath together. Bring your hands to heart center. In prayer position, let your shoulders drop down and exhale. And then inhale as deeply as you can. Fill your chest, fill your belly, lengthen your spine. And exhale, bow your head forward with gratitude for what your body was able to do today. Namaste.